Shalom. Call all y'all by Shimei Shai by Shimmer Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that rule and teach well, that taught us his truth, the 100% truth. To the citation, peace and salutations to the Akim on the four corners, risking their lives each and every day on the highways and the byways, pushing his truth to wake up the elect and the 1/3. And to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification, coming with another lesson. And this lesson will be always agree with your adversary. And the reason why I say that is because we coming in a time now where things is about to get crazy. And this truth has been pushed throughout the four corners of the earth. And our enemy, they gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Especially when these ordinary, regular so-called white people, man, start to realize that we the people of the Bible and they are our enemy. They're gonna, their whole motive is gonna change. So that's why I say you have to, realize that there's gonna come times where, things are gonna get hectic, and reassure that, hey, just agree with your adversary, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to get crazy out here. And then we go to Matthew 5 and 25. Matthew 5, verse 25. Agree with thy adversary quickly. Yeah. See, because we've always had enemies, man. You know what I'm saying? And this go way back, in ancient times, you know what I'm saying? And who is our adversaries today? The so-called white man and the other nations, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta understand that. But most people like, Jake and Eve, they want to overlook that. They want to basically think that, you know what I'm saying, we don't have no enemies and things is all right. Now, since we in 2025, you know what I'm saying, brush everything under the rug and let everything be good. But it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? And if you get stopped by Esau, high authority, man, especially in this kingdom, and it's best to, just be nice, you know what I'm saying? Cooperate, listen to whatever he say and do it, because there's going to come a time where that's going to happen. And you have to be, you have to understand and be focused, have be in the spirit. And why not, think about that now and do that now, you know what I'm saying? And don't wait until the time comes, because things is going to get, really, really messed up out here, So basically you can go, you know what I'm saying, about your day, your daily routine, because you definitely want to agree with your adversary, Now you can do the opposite and be a butthead, you know what I'm saying, and not cooperate. But that's what Esau, he wants to do. He wants you to, you know what I'm saying, especially Jake, you know what I'm saying. Most of the time, Jake, they do stupid stuff anyway, you know what I'm saying. They act a fool, you know what I'm saying, when they could just, just cooperate, That's the same thing if you go to your job, you know what I'm saying. You don't want to have that bullseye on the back of you of your shirt, you know what I'm saying, where you just not doing right, you know what I'm saying. Just cooperate at your job as well, or wherever you go. If you're going out and about, you're hanging out, or if you're going to the store or whatever, just be mindful, you know what I'm saying. This time now is the time now is to be circumspect, you know what I'm saying, especially right now, And see, our people don't understand that we still in captivity to this day, Nothing has changed, you know. You know, and we have to realize that and understand that, you know. But our people want to just mosey along like, you know, everything is all right. But everything is not all right. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know. So you have to make sure, you know what I'm saying, you stay on your P's and Q's, especially when you're out and about, you know what I'm saying, because you don't know what's going to happen, you know. You always have to be circumspect and be careful of your surroundings, you know what I'm saying, especially in this time right now, you know what I'm saying. So that's why I'm putting that out there, you know what I'm saying, on the forefront, you know what I'm saying. Right now is not the time to be doing something that's you know, out of your character, you know. Make sure you staying focused and staying in the spirit, you know. Yep. Let me go to and being vigilant, you know, because you gotta understand, you know, Esau is ready to devour you. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to 1 Peter 5:8. Yeah, because that's his job, that's his motive. You know what I'm saying? He loves, you know, doing, you know, doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's in his spirit. You know what I'm saying? 1 Peter chapter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walk about seeking whom he may devour. Yeah. And who is the devil is speaking about? It's speaking about Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man. You know? That's who the devil is. You know? And our people want to, you know, act like they got amnesia, and they don't want to, you know, understand that, hey, we got enemies, you know what I'm saying? And that's how our people is, you know, to this day. They wanna play dumb. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that these people that are in this world, you know, or back then when they was doing all this to our forefathers, they the same spirits, man. They doing it. They back again. You know what I'm saying? So nothing has changed. You know, nothing has changed. You know, and what it says, as a roaring lion, walk about seeking whom he may devour. Yeah. And this is what Esau does, you know what I'm saying? He sets traps for our people, you know what I'm saying? Our people fall for those traps. So you gotta understand what the scriptures say. Never trust thy enemy. And you know, and he's looking for, you know, to devour Jake, you know. And that's what he want to do. He wants to either Jake put you to death, or send you to prison. And definitely, you know, his job is to, you know, mess with your funds. You might, you know, you're a low paying job because you got a record now, and now you can't make ends meet, you know. So they, you know, and that's why we say, you know, they are enemies, you know what I'm saying? You don't get comfortable in this place, man, because this is not our rest, you know what I'm saying? Micah 2:10, you know. We got to rise and depart from this place, you know what I'm saying? Let's go back to Matthew chapter 5:25. And it says from the top, agree with thy adversary quickly, while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Yeah, because when you grow in this truth, man, you got to be mindful, especially the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, you know what I'm saying? And like the scriptures say, you know, the adversary can deliver thee to the judge, and judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Yeah. And Esau has been doing this for a long time, man. That's why pretty much about 80% of our men are in prison. You know what I'm saying? You know, and whenever they commit crimes, man, it could be like a small offense, but shit, man, he gonna hit Jake upside the head. You know what I'm saying? But let it be Esau. You know, he gonna do the same thing, same crime, but shit, he gonna be either little time or shit, probably probation. You know. Because this is not our kingdom, man. And we got enemies, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say, just always agree with your adversary, you know what I'm saying? And I got a testimony, just a short testimony, because I've seen that through my pops, you know what I'm saying? Just being in prison pretty much all his life, you know, and the things that he had to deal with and go through, you know, because they were setting traps, you know what I'm saying? Starting at a young age, man, he had to deal with that. So that's why I say, you know, just seeing that kind of, you know, opened my eyes to be able to, you know, walk the right way, you know what I'm saying? Not to go down that path, you know? And that's why, man, you know what I'm saying? That's why we got to get the hell out of here, man. Babylon needs to be destroyed, man. You know, and that's how we are. We got to look at it that we, you know, we have to be wise. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When you go out in this world, you have to be wise and make sure you make the right decisions on whatever you do. Let's go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. And behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as a serpents and harmless as doves. Yeah. So every day, man, we among number wolves, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we have to be wise, you know what I'm saying? At all times. And that's why, you know, if my dad knew this truth, my pops, you know what I'm saying, he wouldn't have been in that predicament that he was in, because he would agree with the adversary. But since, you know, he didn't know, he fell for that trap, you know what I'm saying? And that's what Esau wanted to do. And Esau have done that with many, I mean, the list goes on, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say it's probably predominantly 80% of our men is in prison, you know what I'm saying? Because we fell for that trap. But now, you know, there's a remnant that's waking up, you know what I'm saying? We've came out of that trap. We've came out of this world. Now we're walking in the spirit through Yahweh Shem Shai. That's has touched our spirit to make the right decisions, you know what I'm saying? And to agree with our adversary. So wherever we go, you know what I'm saying, if it's on our, out and about, you know, just going out, or like I said, going to your job or wherever you go, family or friend house, you know what I'm saying? We're making sure that we're making wise decisions and we being circumspect, you know what I'm saying? Because like the scriptures say, you know what I'm saying, we therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, you know what I'm saying? Because we being mindful of our surroundings, you know what I'm saying? We being circumspect, you know? And that is why we always have to be wise with whenever Esau is around. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to be on your P's and Q's at all times, because he's looking to devour you, you know what I'm saying? Like in the last scripture, you know what I read, you know? Yep. And even though we, you know what I'm saying, even though we're around these people, you know what I'm saying, each and every day, we still have to play that game, you know what I'm saying? This is basically like a game, you know what I'm saying? You have to, you know, play the game with them, you know, making it seem like, hey, you going right along with the flow, but in the back of your mind, you separated from this place, and it's just like when Clark Kent went to work. I mean, shit, he didn't have his Superman suit on. He had, you know, his regular working job suit on, you know what I'm saying? So you got to play the game where you have to blend in, and don't let Esau, you know, don't give away your disguise, you know what I'm saying? And our disguise is, you know, being in the spirit and giving all praise and power. Call all Yahweh Shem Shai, because he get all the praise, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to Romans chapter 12, verse 18. And if it be possible, as much lie in you, live peaceable with all men. And that's what we have to do. That's why I say you have to play along with that game. There's going to be times you work with Esau, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be vexed in the spirit, because once you start, you know, increasing knowledge and growing in this truth, you might have to bite your tongue in certain situations, certain circumstances, just to, you know, get through the day. You know what I'm saying? You might have to take a lot of L's, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I always say, just play the game, you know what I'm saying? You know, be nice to him or whoever, or whatever other nation, you know what I'm saying? Don't be going to work trying to fight Esau, man, you know? You know, be respectful and be cool with them, you know. Because at the end of the day, you already know Esau got a judgment coming. No matter what he's trying to get around it or anything, he has a judgment. You know what I'm saying? You know? And that's how it's going to be. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. I'm going to close out on this. A couple more scriptures. Second Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. Finally, brethren, farewell, be perfect, be of good comfort, be of one mind, live in peace, and the God of love and peace should be with you. Yeah. And that is what we're supposed to be portraying each and every day, you know what I'm saying? Especially in this wicked kingdom that we in, you know what I'm saying? You know, because this kingdom they don't love us. They don't love us back. But like I say again, since we have this truth and now we're more wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, you know, now we know how to maneuver through situations. We know how to deal with it. We know what to say and how to operate, you know what I'm saying? And the more you go in this truth, that's what you're going to do in Babylon the Great, you know what I'm saying? Because Esau, like I said again, Esau is just sitting and waiting, man, to devour you, you know? Because they you know, like I said again, Esau, the self-proclaimed so-called white people, man, woman, and children, and these other nations, they are our enemies, man. You know? And that's why we have peace through Yahweh Shem Shai. You know? And that's what these scriptures do. They comfort us during good times and bad times. So we know when we first faced with certain situations that we have to deal with on a daily basis, we're able to come back to these scriptures, you know what I'm saying, to build our faith up. So that's why I say, you know, we at a time now, man, that just make sure that you know what you do and be mindful of who your enemy is. And we don't need to take up arms. We don't need to have no guns. We don't need to have anything like that because we already know the victory has already been won. You know what I'm saying? All we need to do is just keep on pushing this truth. You know what I'm saying? And building our faith and growing in this truth. And giving all our praises, call all Yahweh Shem Shai. Because like I say, don't never trust your enemy. You know what I'm saying? Let me get that and I'm going to close out on that. You know what I'm saying? Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we lie at today. We have enemies, you know what I'm saying? But just play the game. You know what I'm saying? Play right along with their little game that they play with us. You know what I'm saying? And just agree with your adversary. Because we know who you are now, Esau. You can't hide no more. But now we're going to sit and play the game with you. So that's why I say, always agree with your adversary. And let me read that back again. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. So Esau hasn't changed. Esau is still the same, you know, wicked back, you know, since ancient time. You know what I'm saying? Abel and Cain, you know what I'm saying? Nothing has changed, you know what I'm saying? And that spirit is back to this day, you know. So, like I say again, always agree with your adversary in the times that we're in now because things are about to get crazy out here. And it's already getting crazy. And Esau is about to, you know, come down, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's about to come down with great wrath, you know, especially because his truth is cutting them up, you know? So we just have to make sure we make the right decisions, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to say shalom. Hope this was edifying. I want to give call all y'all by Shem Shai by Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the Akim of the Four Corners, wishing their lives each and every week on the highways and the byways. And to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification, come on with another lesson. It's your brother Dawadah. Shalom.